series, we'd like to elect a new officer. And the procedure for this is covered in West New York Bylaw 0152, Board Officers. And I'll read the bylaw quickly, and then I'll explain it to the board members what needs to happen. So if you'll pay attention to me, because we'll be, all of you will have a part in this in a few minutes. The Board of Education shall organize by electing one of its members as president and another member as vice president. Any member may place a member's name in nomination. A second is not required. Election for each officer will be conducted by roll call vote when the nominations for that office are closed. The candidate receiving the votes of a majority of board members will be elected to office. In the event no candidate receives a majority of the votes cast, the second election shall be conducted between the two candidates receiving the highest number of votes. Voting shall take place by verbal roll call. So I'm going to walk you all through the process. So the first thing that we're going to do is quite simple. We're going to have, I'm going to ask for a motion to open the nominations for the position of President of the Board of Education. So may I have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, we'll vote on that. Trustee Acosta?
Yes.
Trustee Alam? Trustee Gasadui?
Yes.
Trustee Dr. Pizzatelli?
Yes.
Trustee Reyes?
Yes.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to ask the board if anyone would like to nominate one of their fellow members to be the president of the Board of Education. If you do, just speak up who you'd like to nominate.
I want to nominate Vilma Reyes for the president.
I would like to nominate Dr. Pizzitelli as a president.
That's a box.
Are there any other nominations? Okay. At this point, I'd like to have a motion to close the nominations for president and vice president of the board. We're just saying that there are no more at this point. So I'd like to have a motion.
Motion.
May I have a second? Trustee Acosta?
Yes.
Trustee Alam?
Yes.
Trustee Gasadui?
Yes.
Trustee Dr. Pizzatelli?
Yes.
Trustee Reyes?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'll say your name and you'll say who you're voting for, and we'll see who gets the most votes. Okay? We'll wait for one moment.
Secretary, I advised Trustee Duval what's happening, and that we're in the vote, so she understands what she has to do.
Okay, so again, at this point, I'll call your name, and please, there's two.
Hang on one second. I would like to make certain that the trustee understands that there are two names that have been nominated to serve as president. All right. The two names are Vilma Reyes and Dr. Pizzatelli. Is there anyone else you'd like to nominate? She's already been nominated. Okay. We're going to vote on it now. Okay?
All right, so at this point, I'll call your name, and then you tell me who you'd like to vote for. Trustee Acosta?
Vilma Reyes.
Trustee Alam? Trustee Duval? Trustee Gasadui?
Dr. Pizzitelli.
Dr. Pizzatelli?
I'll vote for myself.
And Trustee Reyes?
We vote by motion.
By majority, Vilma Reyes is the new president of the board. Congratulations. Okay, light of that, since Roma held the seat previously as vice president, at this point, we're going to go back through the process again and elect a vice president. Any questions? No. So we're going to repeat the process. So at this point, I'd like to have a motion to open the nominations, and this is just to start the process to vote for a president of the Board of Ed. So may I have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, may I have a second? Trustee Acosta?
Yes.
Trustee Alon? Trustee Duval? Trustee Dr. Fisickelli?
Yes.
Trustee Gasadui?
Yes.
President Reyes? So at this point, I'd like to open the nominations for a position of vice president. So if anyone would like to have someone be vice president, please speak up to your nomination.
I would like to nominate Dr. Pisitelli.
Are there any other nominations?
No nomination, Rita Sorin. So Mr. Costa, you're nominating Trustee Alon. Is that correct? Okay, are there any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, at this point I'd like to close the nomination process. May I have a motion? Motion.
May I have a second? Trustee Acosta, this is just to close the process. Trustee Acosta,
Yes.
Trustee Alon, Trustee Duval, Trustee Gasadui,
Yes.
Trustee Dr. Fisickelli,
Yes.
Trustee Reyes.
Yes.
Okay, and again, I'll call your name and then just let me know who you'll be voting for. Trustee Acosta,
Rita.
Trustee Alon. And yourself, you're voting for yourself? Yes, okay. Trustee Duval, Trustee Gasadui,
Dr. Pisitelli.
Dr. Fisickelli,
I'll vote for myself.
Trustee Reyes.
I agree.
We have a tie. Against?
In the event of a tie,
One more
we have to
round.
go one more round.
One more round.
And then if there remains a tie, then if I'm not mistaken, it's the county
We
superintendent.
would have to apply it.
Yeah, the county superintendent will make the selection. So we're going to go around one more time.
Okay. So do I need to reopen the start the whole process?
Yes, start the whole process again.
Yeah.
All right, so at this point, I'd like to just open the nomination process for the position of vice president. So may I have a motion?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Acosta,
Yes.
Trustee Alon, Trustee Duval, Trustee Gasadui,
Yes.
Trustee Dr. Fisickelli,
Yes.
Trustee Reyes.
Yes.
This time I'll ask again for anyone to nominate a fellow board member or themselves.
I would like to nominate Dr. Pisitelli.
Any other nominations?
I will nominate Rita.
At this point, we're just closing. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, I'd like to have a motion to close the nominations.
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Acosta?
Rita.
We're just closing, at this point, we're just closing the nominations. So, yes. Trustee Alon? Trustee Alon? Yes. Trustee Duval? Trustee Gasadui?
Dr. Pisitelli.
We're just closing at this point, just closing, so, yes. Trustee Dr. Fisickelli?
Yes.
Trustee Reyes?
Yes.
So at this point, when I call your name, please tell me who you're
And
voting
just repeating once again, now we're doing the vote.
for. So when I call your name, please tell me who you're voting for. Trustee Acosta?
Rita.
Trustee Gasadui,
Dr. Piscitelli.
Dr. Pizzatelli,
Myself.
President Reyes.
Here.
We're at a tie again.
We're at a time, so this has to be submitted.
Well, this should be submitted, the board could decide to try it again the next meeting. But we can't have it until for 30 days. So,
Okay, let's put that question to the board members if they'd like to submit it to the county superintendent or
they hopelessly deadlocked.
have this voted on again at the next meeting. And that is only with respect to the vice president position.
Discussion. This is your discussion, folks. So you can submit, if you believe that you're hopelessly deadlocked, then we can submit it to the county. You have 30 days to fill the spot. If you don't fill the spot, then by statute, we would devolve to the county soup anyway. If you want, you can wait to the next meeting and see if you can come out of deadlock, because the county executive superintendent is loath to make a selection unless the board is hopelessly deadlocked.
So, again, board members, let's, I guess, take a vote on your course of action.
See if there's any discussion. Does
Yeah,
anyone want to have a discussion on this before you take any vote on what you want to do? Okay.
Okay, then I guess I'll call your name, and your answer will be either wait to the next
So
meeting.
why don't you take a positive motion, motion to submit it to the county super. If it fails,
Yes,
Okay, so we'll do that. And if it fails, then
Then
it
it
will go to
stays
the
here.
next
but I
one.
want, let's repeat it
yeah.
twice, okay?
Okay,
What
so-
we're gonna vote on now is whether we're going to submit this to the county superintendent, okay? If the answer is yes, that means it's submitted to the county superintendent to make a decision. If your answer is no, you will vote on this again at the next meeting. All right, is everyone understood?
And if you're deadlocked at the next meeting, then by statute, you have to go to the county super for review.
Okay?
Okay, so the motion is to submit the selection process to the county superintendent for
I
her.
have a question. If you submit to the county, how do you take the process? How do you do the process?
She
You
picks,
just pick
she picks.
how they will select.
We can't, we don't, I don't know what their internal criteria is on how they do the selection. I wouldn't be able to
They
tell you.
would, the names, if you're interested in names, would be submitted, the way the Middlesex Union, Monmouth County's executive superintendent does it is, you submit names if you're interested through the board secretary, and then the board secretary submits the names to the county soup, and the county soup makes the call.
I would like to hold my vote till I find out the jurisdiction.
No, that's, I don't know how Mr. Holmes would handle it, that's how it's normally handled, because otherwise, the county superintendent wouldn't know who's interested in the position. So you submit your name to, if it passes and then it goes to the county, then you submit your name as an interested candidate for vice president, this board secretary would submit the names to the county
But
superintendent.
trustee, we're not at that point yet. As of right now, we're trying to determine whether we're gonna send it immediately to them, or whether we're gonna wait until the next board meeting to have another vote. So, I think that we need to resolve that first. Okay, so again, if I may, so everyone understands, if you vote yes, all right, that means that you are agreeing to send this immediately to the county superintendent to make a decision. If you vote no, you are agreeing to take up another vote at the next board meeting. Okay?
Trustee Acosta.
No.
Trustee Alon. Yes. Trustee Duval.
No.
Trustee Gasadui.
Yes.
Trustee Dr. Pizzatelli.
Yes.
President Reyes. It's a tie vote for this.
So let's stay here.
It'll just be advanced to the next board meeting.
All right, so